allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Anybody here? Well, I've been there twice, and I'm shocked. They don't act like they're a government agency, but they tax us. They raised taxes 84.6% a couple of years ago. And they don't use proper procedures. You go in and they got a round table and they're sitting all around it. They'll catch you. I don't know who the board members are, but I do. They don't do like this. I was on the school board for several years at Wortham. I've been in several city council meetings. I know how government is supposed to be. They don't do that. Board is not elected. Have y'all ever voted for any board members? You know who they are?
Some of them. Probably not all of them.
Tony Price here. I asked him about his salary, and here he lied to me. He said he wasn't on the salary, but I found out later he makes $42,000 a year. He doesn't work at the hospital. He set up the election. Bonner and Dr. Keller were good doctors. I've gone to them all my life. Dr. Bonner delivered me. I actually went to him in 1948 at the Fairfield Hospital down here. And a horse stepped on me and he treated me. He was a very good doctor. And Dr. Keller treated my wife so she died, my first wife. Very good doctor. And I think y'all know they were pretty well off financially. They never tax people. Some people shouldn't be on the board. I know Dr. Keller said they to lots 3 times for back trouble. Prescriptions that I feel that it just example, always be, was at a drugstore. And Board, Mr. Board, rents the building for them. He should be on the board. They don't use proper procedure at their meetings. In fact, if you're there, they won't open meeting until you leave. They go in closed session. They never make everybody leave. They have a closed session in the room. There's no chairs like this. They remove it, and they count their own votes, elections. They say it costs 20 to 30,000 to put on an election, but I don't know if that's right or not. But they count the votes, and they removed 2 names from our list, and it helped me circulate the list. They got a bunch of Dr. Bowles and his wife out in Nevada County. Only had one person in Nevada County refused to send the list. One person. Not that people. Several hundred.
And just for clarification, he lives in Nevada County, but we're talking about the hospital district. And the hospital district does go in and take in that area by the lake. And he is
Yes,
in
I
that
had a list. I went by
Yes, sir.
Nevada County and Freestone County. I got it from his, what's her name? His tax collector. What's her name?
Mike Dow's the current one.
Yeah.
Renee, is that who you got it from this time?
She gave me the list. I paid for it. It was about $50 list. It was a voters list. I went by that. If you want to see the markers here, I have. That's all I have. You all need to go down to the meeting. They shouldn't be taxing people for an unelected board, and they don't use proper procedures in the meetings. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming this morning. Is there anyone else that would like to make of the public that would wish to speak this morning? All right. If not, then we will go into our regular meeting. If it's agreeable, I know we're going to have a lot of budget stuff, and certainly you can stay for that, but the number 9, which is the last one on the agenda, it's a state supplement, is joint dispatch. So I believe there are several people here this morning that are for that. And so if we could just discuss that a little bit, then that way they can get on back to work if they need to. And but you're certainly welcome to stay if you don't want to do that. You don't need to leave. Several months ago, the city of Fairfield had approached us about doing a joint dispatch. In years past, there had been just one dispatch, but it was 3 years ago when the city decided that they would do their own dispatch. But they had come back to us to see if we could try to do that to save some money, both for the county and for the cities. What we're here to talk about today, the main thing is whether or not the other cities want to join in a joint dispatch. We are building a new building for the dispatch, and I'll show you this picture. In in the dispatch, each one of the dispatchers is going to have a number of screens so that they can keep those open all the time. They don't have to go back and forth. That way, that will be more efficient for the dispatchers when they need to dispatch people out, and hopefully with our new CAD system, they'll be able to see where all the deputies are and be able to make things a little faster and a little more efficient. We've had questions about some different issues during the time, so we're trying to address these issues to see if we can make things safer for people in our county. All right, all of that being said, the governance is going to be basically by an advisory board, and there will be fire department members, the chiefs of all the police departments of the cities, one deputy, an emergency management coordinator, 2 from EMS, 1 Fairfield, 1 TIG, and 1 from DPS sergeant who has agreed to be on this advisory board. And so they will hear all of the complaints and all of the issues that we have in the dispatch, whether it's equipment or personnel or what we might have an issue that needs to be addressed. Not necessarily meaning that something is wrong all the time, but there are always issues that come up that we need to get addressed. And with having this variety of people on the board, we should be hearing from all areas to help make this a better, more efficient run dispatch. Now, where we are right now is forming this interlocal agreement between the cities and the county. And that would include each of the cities paying a part of the cost of that dispatch. There's several ways that we can do that. We looked at it before, whether it's on population of the cities in the county or call volume or, just what mechanism we might use that would make it fair for everyone. So we're going to have, we can take comments right now. If you'd like to make a comment, we'd love to hear that. If not, we'll set a meeting and sit down and try to go through the financial part of it and see what we can get to agree with the city so we can all be on board. Have questions, anyone, or comments?
Where are we at with getting the board finished set up?
Well, we have the list. The fire departments have given us their list. Of course, the cities have their own police chiefs, and I guess the only one we don't know for sure of is probably which deputy is going to be on. We don't know that yet. But other than that, they're pretty well set because emergency management's Leonard, 1 from Fairfield, 1 from TIG, EMS, and then we have 1 DPS sergeant that will be on. So as soon as we can get together and make an agreement from whoever is going to join into the joint dispatch, then we'll be ready to have that set up. But if you have questions today, we're glad to take those, or if the commissioners would like to make some kind of a comment, we're glad to hear that. Or the sheriff.
Bridget, have y'all talked about it any?
No, sir, we have not. That's why I'm here today. We
Okay.
have a special call
Gathered
meeting.
information, okay.
Yes. And
Yeah, I
that's,
did talk to the mayor,
yeah, that's told me that.
and just briefly and kind of explained this to him, what we were talking about. And so, but we haven't actually all sat down. I know we have with the Fairfield people, and Misty's here, but I can't see who else might be back there. Do you have anybody back there? Okay. But they're familiar with it because we've talked about that already too. But we'd like for everybody to be a part of this and try to get this moving as quickly as we can.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. Do you have any questions or any other information you'd like?
No, yes, I know we have a special call meeting tonight, and so I'll kind But I'm pretty sure everybody's in support of it, from what I've gathered.
Well, and the mayor has said that he certainly wanted to be a part of it to make things safer and more efficient for the county. So we'll just sit down and try to work it out. How we're going to do that.
And touching on what Ron asked for, though, is about the board and talking about the CAD. Do we all agree that if we move forward with the CAD system, that we want to go ahead and start using it as soon as possible, not wait on the building to be built?
I agree. We can go ahead and do the joint as far as, and I've visited with the city of Fairfield, go ahead and make that joint, that move to joining in their dispatchers with ours and get that moving along. It'll just be ready then to move into the new building when it's completed.
I think, like the sheriff and I was talking yesterday, I think it'd be a good idea if we go ahead and get the CAD and have the dispatchers training on it. That way, when the move does happen, you know, it's not a new build, new equipment, and a new CAD system on them. It's, you know, maybe they'll have a few months already under their belts of the CAD system, so it might transition a little bit better.
I think that's a great idea. Any more input? We'd love to have it. Good or bad? All right, then we will try to set a meeting. I know Fairfield has one on the 8th, maybe just shortly after that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We'll, then let's get together some dates that will work for the cities and go ahead and set that. All right. All right, if y'all would like to stay, you certainly are welcome to stay. If you need to go, well then, not feel bad about that. All right, so now we'll go to the DPS secretary. We have changed the title to administrative assistant. Would you like to speak to us about something else about that?
Morning, Judge, Commissioner. If possible, if there's any way possible, could we get her position changed effective September 1st to that title? It kind of goes along with my girls' big admin. She makes a great deal of what she does, and it kind of, it still doesn't even get her close. But I think it would help for her to keep her position here. And if she did leave at some time, it would bring in more help to where we can get a higher quality candidate if about maybe. I appreciate your consideration or your vote on that.
Your calendar year's from September to September, where ours is October.
Yes, sir.
Yours is September and ours is October.
Yes, sir.
That's why you want to do this now.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, item number 2 is to go out for bids on tree removal. Do we have that? You'll see if I can get it.
On number 2,
Yes?
I just know that from talking to the auditor, we were close, but, I mean, we like what, took.
Yeah, I didn't know whether we was, when we talked about it, we were getting.
We're close, so what, I mean, if we don't use anybody else, I mean, if we don't do anything else between now and get to the end of the fiscal year, you know, so if we don't, we could wait till our next year to go out for bids.
October, wait till October.
And it, so
That's
it
an
make it,
option.
I mean, you know, if we have some kind of emergency, then I guess we could consider it an emergency and do whatever we can do. But my recommendation is that we don't spend any more money on tree removal, and then we go out for bids in October.
Unless it's an emergency.
Yes.
Because if we go out now, then we'll have to turn around and go out again in October, right?
No, we
Well,
have
Well,
it.
she said we'd go out for whatever that date is to the end of next year.
Oh, okay. Okay. Just be clear.
But we can certainly wait until October.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I'm good with it. I mean,
Wait till October?
I got us far behind if you can.
I probably would have got caught up by it, so, but we got everything, no emergency.
Go get done, that's an emergency,
Yeah.
you know.
All right, well, I will give her that note that we need to go out.
If
for
anybody wants any,
beginning in October.
if anybody wants any firewood, proceed forward, just go cut all you want, and put in trees and all kinds.
It's free, come get it.
Make sure you put the brush back out of the road.
All right, number 3, E-Force. Then we was going to look at it to see if there was anything on the quote that we didn't need, or if there was anything we needed that wasn't on there. Have you talked to him?
I talked to him a little bit yesterday.
This says it does not include training and site license. Maybe what that was on the quote from July 26th.
There should be a year quote in that.
I don't have it.
This is what you had yesterday.
Yes, these are the new ones.
Oh,
So
it
this
does
is-
include,
yes,
but it is
there's two.
July 26th.
And so that's the new ones. No, these are two different quotes. It's if we want this and if we don't own them. These are the quotes. This is the email next to it. This is the email that explains.
This is it.
A little bit. Probably includes what?
Yes, I asked Beth about that the other day, and she said that that was on there. Leonard for one that includes training, site license, and then if there's any growth or anything like that in the future, then it doesn't cost us as much to add more software with that. Your maintenance on that is cheaper.
So Wortham is going to change the
I haven't heard anything. We're waiting to see what their buyout contract might cost them, the company that they're currently using. But they are, what it's going to cost them to be on, to start new with this company, that price is, it needs to be a factor.
Oh, that's on the one with the term.
With the term.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
We could go ahead with this, subject to, including or not including workers, depending on what they want to do.
I guess I got that message from her this morning, and she was calling me to talk to you
I'll
about
talk to her about that. Okay.
Yeah, I was told that Wortham was for changing, so that everybody in the county would be on the same system. So I don't think that's.
I was pretty much under the same impression, it's just a money issue, depending on
And it-
where they're sat.
Yeah, and it might not have been an issue, they just didn't know at that time.
Right.
All right, I'll find out about that.
Hey, Judge, there's also, you should see it on the quote, there's an interface for Active 911. for the fire and EMS side. I don't know if Leonard spoke to y'all about that. Active 911 is a separate system, but all the fire and EMS, they feel like it'd be a big asset for us. But it's, Active 911 is a paging system, a mapping system. It, I can see who's responding to the TIG fire station, so I know how many people's coming up there, or anybody, you know, we can see all the fire trucks in the county because it can go directly on the firefighters' phones. And I don't have an exact dollar amount for that per year for you at this time. I can definitely work on it for you. But I just wanted to let you know that was something that we wanted to ask also.
Would that be the E911 interface?
Yes, sir. So that's
And
the
active 911 interface, it's part of this quote.
right. So that's for E-Force to make the ability for their system to talk to Active 911.
Right.
Active 911 is a separate company. If I'm not mistaken, and I think the high end was like $15 a year per license for that. But I think if you buy so many licenses, it goes down in price.
They've got it on here at $5,780 for the entire county for all 11.
Right. So that's to make them two systems talk together, and then we would also have to get Active 911, and I think for like 250 license, which I think is more than what we actually would need, it's like $3,750 a year. And like I say, it would pretty much, our pagers that we have to carry around could go away because that system it sets off ringtones on your phone, and it's just, as soon as the dispatcher hits go, it sends it right out, right at that second.
So the interface is so the two could communicate. So would we need an interface package with E911?
So, no, so Active 911, they'll work with,
Active 911 and there's E.
it's the same, that's the same thing.
It's like, it's a system. You have their 911 system, and then E-Force has their 911 system. The E-Force bid is to talk to this system, so they can connect to each other.
So we need both of them, is what I'm asking.
Yes, they're
Yes.
asking for both.
They're both in the quote.
No,
They are on this one.
No, the active 911 system is not in the E-Force quote. That's just the.
that's just what E-Force is
Right, I'm
doing.
saying the interface
Yes,
is in the quote
yes, sir.
for active 911 and E911.
That's just for,
That didn't count the licensing.
No, that does not count the licensing from Active
You probably
911.
have to add another $3,750.
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
yeah.
That's what it's-
$3,750 for the licensing for the 911, active 911, the actual active 911 system.
Great. Whatever you say.
But I get what Lloyd's saying, they're both on that quote, and if they're the same thing, why are there two on that quote, right?
That's why I was looking at, making
Because
sure.
they're paying to connect,
We got it now.
yes.
When you do this, I get it, I understand.
She didn't lie to me.
So have you went through this, Ron?
I have not went through the full quote, no, sir.
I wish you would, and like I say, I mean, I know that Leonard had said, that the training and the site license, that would be important. I mean, that it would save us money down the road, that was his recommendation.
Yes, sir. So,
But if you would like to look at it just so that you can see
yes,
everything they're quoting us, just to make sure there's not anything they're quoting us that we don't need.
yes, sir.
That would
As a
be
matter of
important.
fact, why don't we take a short break?
I'll give you my copy.
And you can look at this, and then we will finish this up. Yeah, I've got no idea.
Give me my
All
copy.
right, let me ask you this first. We are going forward with the E-Force, and we are going to pay that out of the ARPA funds. Is everybody in agreement with that?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good with it. Yeah, well, we got to, but, or we'll go with the rest. I mean,
I think we will, because, yes, all right, we're going to take a short break.